Welcome to the Entrepreneurs Podcast. I'm here with my partner, Justin Minott.
Hey.
And also with my longtime CP, I'd say 40 years. I mean, Bill and I, we've been a team for a long. He's seen me through.
You guys start when you were 5?
Yeah.
Seven.
We played in a sandbox together. But he's seen me through thick, thin, and just a great friend and a great CPA. And the way Bill ended up here on this particular podcast is he was saying before. Well, Bill, maybe you should just talk about the text that I sent you and kind of take it.
Well, you sent that text through at midnight, close to midnight, I believe Friday night, where you were talking, you put a link up there, and you were inferring that there was $10,000 free money. So I clicked on the link, figuring, well, maybe I didn't read about this, $10,000 free money. I mean, you never know what they're going to do in Washington, right? But when I got to the SBA page, I found $10,000. I did, but it said they would advance it as part of a loan, as one of those disaster loans. Well, I thought to myself, Dave Gold's not going to send me that, because in his text, it also said, you got to get your money now, because if you don't, it's going to run out. Well, I mean, our portion isn't the whole 2.2 trillion. I'm thinking to myself, wow, it's going to run out. So I'm firing through this stuff. Saturday, I called him up and I told him, I says, you know, Dave, I said, you're too late. I said, I went down to my bank and I says, I had a sack here and they were just throwing stacks of hundreds in it. And the guy told me, Bill, you take it home and count it. If you're short 10,000, you come back here and we'll just give you the rest. So as crazy as that sounds, I had 5 calls on Saturday. Every call asking me, Bill, where can I get the free 10,000? Okay. So where this started from was people reading on the SBA website, where the SBA said, as part of their disaster loan relief, they're going to give you, they're going to advance you 10,000, and then you're going to roll the rest into a disaster loan at 3.75%. But as folks have a tendency to do, they never made it past the 10,000 part. It was they saw the 10,000 and they figure, well, the rest of that stuff is just minutia. We'll just forget about that. So, and that's what goes on.
Okay, so Bill, you and I had a calmer, saner conversation. So, well, first of all, you're the type of guy that I could text at 12. It was actually 12:30. Thank you.
That's right.
And
you were asking me if I was watching an NBA game. Believe me, if there was one on, I would have been watching it.
So, but then Sunday morning, you called me back with the real stuff. And once I started to sort through it, I realized, and I talked to Justin about it, we realized everyone wants to know this. So, first of all, give the disclaimers of what you know and what this moment is and what.
Yeah, get us up to speed.
What people, particularly the small business community, is referring to, and they're starting to get a handle around, is what they call the Paycheck Protection Program. Okay? And it's a 10-week program where the SBA is going to come out with a form and give it to the local banks. And they are going to pay your payroll, okay, for this 10-week period. Payroll, utilities, and if you have to pay rent or mortgage. Now, you're going to have to fill out an application with the local banks, of course. And the whole part of the situation is this, which is the beauty of the situation, is that if you follow their guidelines the way they have it set up, chances are they're going to classify this as not a loan to the small business community, but as a grant. Okay. And as a grant, because if they forgive the indebtedness being forgiven is taxable income, okay, whether individually or on business. But if it's classified as a grant, then it's not taxable income to the business owner. However,
interesting.
The business owner still will get to deduct all the utilities that they use the money for, the payroll that they continue to pay for, the payroll taxes they continue to pay for. So you can see it is a good plus situation, but it only goes on for 10 weeks. All right. So it's going to expire sometime in June. But there are certain caveats. As of today, the SBA doesn't have the forms ready to go to the bank. Wow. Okay, so there's only one bank that I found
today. Just so we can time this. Today is Monday the 30th. Is that right? I got the date right.
Monday the 30th.
Okay, just so because whenever people hear it, they'll know where we were.
So it was Monday the 30th. Now the SBA's talked about maybe trying to get them out by either the end of this week or the end of next week. And the program itself is really good because you're getting these grants, okay? And even if they don't forgive all of it, if they only forgive 75% of it, you got to pay 25% back. It's not a bad situation. It really isn't. Now, if you have, if your salary as the business owner exceeds $100,000 a year, you can't throw that into this program. They eliminate that because they say you're a highly compensated individual. Now, what's beautiful about this program is they're classifying payroll as not just W-2 people, in other words, people you take the withholdings on, but also our folks in the gig economy, the 1099s.
Wow. Okay.
That is huge. I mean,
that's massive.
It is literally huge because it's opening up a new door and something we've never done before. Okay.
Right. And that's very relevant because there are more 1099 people in the U.S. than ever before. The gig economy is booming, or before all this, right? So
exactly.
That's really fascinating.
Exactly. And so by them doing that and opening up that window, it's going to require them in the government now to come up with these forms and regulations and everything else. And you know how people are. I mean, it's like that old commercial. It's my money and I want it now.
Right.
Well, I mean, you understand the bill was passed, Thursday morning at around 11:20, signed at something like 2:00 in the afternoon. Well, they expected all, particularly the people I'm dealing with, they expected it all to be in place by 4:30 on Friday afternoon. I mean, it's just not going to happen.
So they could get their check on Monday morning and be ready to go.
Exactly right. Exactly. Tuesday at the latest.
Let me couple things first. So first of all, who do we know what the qualifications are going to be for eligibility for this grant?
We do. The business itself, if I can look off my sheet, my notes here, the business, they're going to loan up to, for businesses, this loan is going to qualify for what they classify as small business, which is 500 or less employees. Okay. Mm-hmm. Now for myself, the business I deal with, we're way under that 500 part situation. For example, here, if I can talk personally, in Western Pennsylvania, we're shut down. Okay. The governor has just shut us down for another 2 or 3 more weeks, the Governor Wolf, because he's trying to control the coronavirus. Mm-hmm. Well, you got restaurants that are shut down. You got jewelry stores that are shut down. Okay, you've got all these businesses that are shut down and no income is coming in. Okay, so now we have to have 2 things. We have not only the owners of these businesses, but we have the employees of the business. And I mean, everybody got expenses to pay. And now all of a sudden it's like whack. It's all gone. I mean, we got to shut down. You got to shut down. And that's what this is meant to come in. It's meant to come in and help these small businesses for 10 weeks to pay these employees. And on the government's point of view, which makes a lot of sense to me, these people then won't be on the unemployment rolls because they'll still be payroll. They will have those employers that I have that cover the health insurance. These individuals still have their health insurance covered. So it's actually helping the economy out. And so that's the whole purpose behind this Payroll Protection Act.
Because, you got a lawyer and a CPA on at the same time. This could get pretty dicey. So, so what's the frame of reference? I mean, there's people that could just say, okay, I'm starting a business. I'm paying myself $99,000 a year.
No,
30 employees.
They're gonna look back to 2018 for some businesses. Okay, They're gonna look back for 2018, and they're gonna see what was paid to the owners, the presidents of the corporation, what was paid to the employees. They're going to do that as a look back. They're also going to give you, if you just started the business in 2019, you have to provide the records to them to show them what was paid for the owners and what was paid for the employees.
Right. Okay.
And so then they're going to run a cross check on this whole situation. For example, I'm sure the way they're going to check the 1099s on is that they're going to run those numbers through the IRS, because we had to file all these 1099 forms by January 31st. And the IRS is going to say, yeah, this was reported, this one was reported, this one was reported. Okay. Right. So it's it really is a good thing. Okay.
Well, what about for businesses that might have started in 2020? They started this year. Are they missing out on this thing, or how does that affect them?
Well, this is a gray area. They haven't covered this. I would think, and I'm speaking just on my own, that if you're dealing with a bank, the bank that you're dealing with, and you can bring down with the unemployment reports up here in Pennsylvania, it's a UC2 form, and the 941s forms for the IRS, and show them, okay, what the payroll is. I think that should qualify, because the whole purpose is to stop what appears to be heading either a major recession or even a slight depression in the whole economy.
Right. Right. And we're trying to get ahead of that. So what do you think the odds of success are? Where do you think we'll be if you could play fortune teller a month from now? If the economy stays as slow as it is and things are still shut down, how do you see this actually working?
I think this situation, which will carry us through to June, okay, it'll carry us into June. When they're in May, in the middle of May, the health people at the CDC and all that, they're providing all this information to the people in charge down there. If they feel this is going to go on beyond this, I have a feeling we could see this program extended in another one of these quote unquote stimulus bills. Okay, all right. Now, this is the one we were talking about, the loans. Now, the other possibility would be for individuals. Let's just say that you were a 1099 employee, and you just had yourself, but you didn't want to get involved in all this paperwork going to the bank and all that stuff. Yeah. Well, you can still now file for unemployment. Okay, you can never file for unemployment before. Exactly. The government has changed the rules. Now, the bad thing about that is, I'm speaking up from up here in Pennsylvania. Our unemployment department has not come out with a new form yet, and they said it's going to be a week to 2 weeks before they do that. But they're waiving the waiting week. Okay, so that when you file, you then become eligible for the $600 a week for 17 weeks.
Yeah, that's significant.
It is. So they're trying to get, how we don't know where what's going to happen, and they're trying to do something before the economy totally stalls. Right. And it's in danger. I don't know what it is, you folks that are down in North Carolina, but I'm telling you, up here in Pennsylvania, particularly here in Western Pennsylvania,
it's serious.
I mean, we got major issues here because we're shut down. We're not allowed on the roads after midnight. We can only go to an automobile repair shop, a hospital, a doctor's office, a grocery store, and gas station. That's it. That's all we can do. So you can imagine what the economy is like up here. It's not very good.
So, so Justin, how are we doing for time? I know.
We
gotta wrap it up in a minute or two here. But go ahead. Yep.
Two things. So first of all, so those are the two those are the two takeaways we talked about on Sunday. Is there a name for this loan program, just so we can have is there a particular name for this program?
Well, yeah, it's called the Paycheck Protection Program.
Okay. So we got the Paycheck Protection Program, and then the unemployment, is that a separate program, or is that?
The unemployment is separate, but I'm sure, and I'll say it again, most of these states, the data processing equipment is so old. It takes them a long time, and not to be insulting to them, but it takes them a long time to change and get these forms up.
So, Bill, I got to tell you, this has been just so informative, so much fun, and again, I would just hope you'd be. I think we'll probably do a longer one of these. I think once we post this and people see it, they're gonna have a ton of questions for you. So we have to do something. We can do some Q&A. So I'm putting you on the spot. Just say yes as my CPA.
Yeah, I will. I mean, Dave, not only for the folks that you're going to reach, but also for our clients here. I mean, most of the clients here last night, they were watching the YouTube, NFL YouTube, which was the replay of the Steelers' last Super Bowl win.
Okay.
Right. They just need something. So we'll give them something exciting to watch.
Exactly.
One last thing. So Bill Opaska is, I'm here in Chapel Hill. Bill's been my CPA through a number of states. He's a phenomenal, just phenomenal tax guy, planner, every part of it. Just a great human being. You've just stuck with me through everything. And if people are looking for a good guy in this field, I strongly recommend it. Bill will post your information up on our website, but you can also find him. He's William Opaska, O''Paska, CPA up in Pittsburgh. Scott Township, right? You're in Scott Township?
No, Graintree. We're closer to the city.
I get you mixed up with Scott Township.
Exactly.